So hello students, welcome back. In the previous class we have learned about what? Climate and weather, right? We have learned about climate and weather, and we have also learned about India as having what type of climate? The monsoon type of climate. And we have also learned that some parts of India received rainfall during the month of June to September, whereas the southern part of the country received rainfall in the month of October and November, right? So, to recall what we had learned in the previous class, I would like you to clarify again these points. I want to test your knowledge whether you're able to remember the difference between climate and weather. So let's read this. Okay, so it is written what? At 6 a.m. the sky was bright and sunrise is beautiful. At 9 a.m. the sky suddenly turned dark with clouds. At 11 a.m. there was strong wind followed by thunder and lightning and light rain. At 1 p.m. there was bright and hot sunshine. At 3 p.m. the sky turned dark again followed by heavy rainfall. So you have seen the change, okay, from morning to the afternoon. Does the above change of events refer to weather or climate conditions? What do you say? Is it referring to climate or weather? We said weather is a day-to-day phenomenon. So this talks about the day-to-day phenomenon. It is not constant. It changes, right? In the morning, it was, okay, the temperature was, let's say, hot and the sunshine was bright, but then changes. If you talk, there has been so much changes since morning to the afternoon. So this is what? This conditions over here, this change of events over here refers to weather. Okay, so this is weather. And we have been talking that climate refers to the combination of all the weather conditions which lasts for a long duration. It should be constant, right? Okay, now observe this. You can see here two pictures. The first one, it shows some places which are covered by ice and snow. So showing the colder regions, the colder areas of the earth. And in the second picture, you can see these people, they are living in the hot type of climate. That's why they are not putting any clothes on them, because what? It is very hot. So what happens? You can see the difference between, okay, the climate of the colder regions and the climate of the hot regions, right? So what do you think, which control this? Okay, what is the cause behind all this? The colder regions and the hot region and some other parts, like we are going to learn about the tropical, okay. So you can see difference in their dress because of the climate. So there is some factors which control, and we call them the climate control. And we are going to learn those factors which control, or the climate control, or the factors which control the climate. So let's learn those climate controls. You can see over here, what you can see over here, you can see this globe, this part of the earth, and the sunshine over there. You can see that the equatorial part of the earth receives direct sunlight, whereas the polar region of both the southern and the northern hemisphere received what? Slanting sunlight. So the areas which received direct sunlight will be very hot, while the areas which receive slanting sunlight will be very cold. Okay, so this is talking something about what we are going to learn, the climate control. And you know, there are around 6 major controls of the climate of any place. We have got the latitude. Okay, so the first one is latitude. The second one is altitude. The third one is pressure and wind system. The fourth one is distance from sea. The fifth one is ocean currents. And the last one is relief features. Relief features. So these 6 are what we call the climate controls, which impact the climate of any region of the earth, right? So because of these 6 factors, the climate changes from one place to the other. Because of latitude, because of altitude, because of pressure and wind system, because of the distance from the sea, because of the ocean currents, and because of the relief features, the climate of one region will be different from the climate of the other region. So let's see the first one, the first climate control, that is the latitude. So what is latitude? If this is the globe, the earth, this line, equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and so many other lines. You know, these lines, horizontal lines, which runs from the western part to the eastern part, we call this what? We call these the latitude. And I have just shown you in the picture, the sun is over here, right? So this is the sun. This part will receive direct sunlight. So this region over here will be very hot. Whereas the polar region, both of the southern and northern hemisphere, will be receiving slanting sunlight. So it will be colder in comparison to the equatorial region, because these areas over here, they received direct sunlight. So we can say that yes, the latitude controls the climate. It controls the climate. These areas have got equatorial climate or hot climate, whereas these regions in the northern and southern part, in the polar regions, they experience very cold climate. That's why you can see them covered in ice and snow throughout the year, right? So the first climate control is the latitude of the earth. Due to the curvature of the earth, the amount of solar energy received varies according to latitude. Lower latitudes, more solar rays. Higher latitude, less solar rays, right? So this is what we have learned. Temperature of the equator, you know, if you talk about equator, temperature in this part of the equator, it is increasing. Whereas the temperature at the polar regions, both the southern and the northern and southern hemisphere, what happened to them? The temperature in these regions decreases. And you know, these temperatures over here, they receive what we call the tropical or equatorial climate, whereas the temperature of the poles, we have got the temperate, okay, somewhere temperate over here, and also the frigid. That's why even these areas over here are called the frigid zone. Okay, it is very cold. You can see here the map of India, you can see this Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country, from the Rann of Kutch in the west to Mizoram in the east. Almost half of the country lying south of the Tropic of Cancer belongs to the tropical area. All the remaining area north of the tropic lies in the subtropics. India's climate has the characteristics of tropical as well as subtropical climates. So India, right? So you can see the Tropic of Cancer passes. So you know that the equator is somewhere down. So these areas between the equator and 23.5, okay. So these areas over here, they are called the tropic. They experience tropical climate. Whereas these areas above, okay, above the Tropic of Cancer, they experience what we call the subtropical. So India's is having both the characteristics of tropical and subtropical climates, right? So this is what meant over here. So I want you to select the state through which the Tropic of Cancer passes in India. You can see this Tropic of Cancer passes from this region to this region and it crosses many states, right? So what are those states? So you can see, does it pass through Kerala? No. Okay, let's say Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu will be wrong. Rajasthan, yes, is going to pass. West Bengal is going to pass through Tripura. Arunachal Pradesh? No. Then we have got Mizoram, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh. Okay. Is it passing through Goa? No. Okay. So these are some of the regions, some of the states through which the Tropic of Cancer passes while passing from the western part of the country to the eastern part of the country. So I have got a question here. Is it true or false? So the first question, India's climate has characteristics of tropical as well as subtropical climate. Is it true or false? Yes, this is true. We have just learned, right? So the northern part of the Tropic of Cancer, they experience subtropical climates. The southern part of the Tropic of Cancer, they experience tropical climate. The Tropic of Cancer, second question. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the middle of the country from the Rann of Kutch in the east to Mizoram in the west. Is this true or false? This will be false, right? Because the Rann of Kutch is in the west and Mizoram is in the east. So the answer to the second question will be false.